this show going, man.
Hurry up, hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up!
Hurry up!
Come on now. We're gonna have action soon. Right here. It ain't going nowhere.
Boy, yeah, you got some technique, boy. You ain't show me that this summer.
Hey, Wildcat!
Ball at the 5, third down and 2.
That was bad.
Let's go have some fun, bro. We ain't got to talk about too much.
He wasn't playing the ball!
It's holding!
Cliff. It's a cliff. How is that not called?
That ain't gonna call a damn thing.
What is the delay for? He's standing right there.
He's taking a card out. He's a piece of paper.
It's that close? Dear Lord.
Hello and welcome. We are the Aussie Guys. I'm AJ. Here with me are some guys.
That's a cool way to do it. Keeps everybody happy. Mate, don't have to worry about me. It's not me you have to keep happy.
Welcome, gents. Sheps, how you doing?
Hey, what's happening? Some guys, I like that. That makes me feel like we're just a bunch of bros. We're hanging out. We're just doing the damn thing. I like it. I'm here with some guys.
That's right.
Mate, 6 or so years of sitting here on the couch next to you every week means absolutely nothing now.
It's better than saying I'm here with some clowns. That would be like...
Oh, I'd never say that.
That'd be more to the truth. Listen, mate, I don't mind the truth. Tell me the truth.
You can't handle the truth. Hey, listen, drink of the pod. And, your drink of the pod,
Reaching down to get mine.
Sheps, is probably a coffee with ice in it.
Coffee.
What's with ice in the coffee?
Well, I drink it for substance, so it's steaming hot when I make it, and I throw some ice cubes in it so it cools down so I can drink it right away. Because I don't drink it for flavor. I drink it to give me energy. That's what's for the ice.
Well, you don't drink it for flavour?
If it sat there for like a couple of minutes, it'd be fine.
But I want it now.
I've got a Samuel Adams Boston Lager, which is very nice, G. A little bit darker than I would normally prefer,
okay,
but that's fine.
Mate, it's a dark bottle. How do I know what colour the
Well, beggars can't be choosers.
No.
I don't mind.
Have you ever paid for one?
Oh,
Ooh.
Smack!
I'm just stating a fact.
Well, that's okay. True. Beggars can't be choosers.
All right. And I've got a Stone's Ginger Joe. So ginger beer. It's quite nice, actually. It's very good. I don't even know where it's made. Where's it made? Who cares? Tastes good.
Who knows? You must be able to... Okay, while G's looking to see where...
Stones of London? I doubt if it's made in London and exported, but...
I doubt it. So, boys...
Product of Australia. There you go.
Now, it was yesterday evening for you, Sheps. For us, it was just today.
Yes, sir.
It was today, but something happened today which hasn't happened for 635 days, which,
I'll tell you something that happens every day, probably 635 times. Effing McDonald's screw up your bloody order when you go through drive-through.
Ooh.
That's what happens.
Really?
Fuck, you're useless.
Not in America. Not in America, man.
Really?
They got it together out here.
Useless.
McDonald's is like the pride of America, so of course they're on top of it out here.
Mate, I tell you, I went through and got an Angus burger because I was just flying around today, and they give me a chicken burger, which I'm not going to complain. It was actually quite nice. But it's not even it doesn't even have another beef patty in there. It's not like they screwed it up and gave me a Big Mac, which has beef in it. Well, it's not really beef. I don't know what it is, what part of the cow.
Dude, I used to love Big Macs, man. I used to eat them like it was my job when I was a kid.
Really?
Oh yeah, I loved Big Macs, man. I remember like going to football practice, and back then I had no idea of nutrition, and I can't blame my parents.
You've had a few internal problems, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
We're getting to the heart of the problem now.
But I would remember going to football practice and then my dad taking me to McDonald's after and getting Big Macs. I'd love it.
Now
awesome.
they've got the Big Mac, like a proper size Big Mac.
Oh, yeah.
They? Like
huge.
Extra.
Yes, extra patty, isn't it?
Extra patty.
Big Mac has 2 patties.
But over here, they're bigger now.
No, they've added another patty.
Special sauce.
Well, they've got 3 patties.
Got 3
I think
patties?
so. I think so.
Well,
aren't they just bigger patties?
Because they know that you Australians are so big and buff that you guys need the extra meat.
Yeah, I could be absolutely... People will tweet us and say, you're so full of... Yeah, anyway. But I have a feeling they've added an extra patty.
Okay. All I know is they screwed up my order. How hard is it?
My favorite thing now, I don't eat McDonald's. I don't eat gluten, and I haven't for about 6 or 7 years because of the colitis. So McDonald's was out of the picture. But when I had my surgery, I kind of gave up on that diet for about a year. So like I hadn't eaten McDonald's, Burger King, like any of that stuff, real pizza. So for about a year, I went to town, like within the last year, you know. So I was going to McDonald's, I was going to Burger King, I was going to Pizza Hut, like I was eating all the junk that because I'm kind of healthy, and my wife, like she's very healthy, so I don't tell her like when I don't eat very well. But now I don't eat that shit. But
good on you.
Imagine he's sitting at the front of the house just before he goes in, just
finishing it,
pouring into bloody.
I kind of felt like I deserved it.
Pizza.
I didn't eat gluten for 5 years, and it didn't matter because finally the colitis came back. So I was kind of pissed off that I, you know. So I was like, now I'm going to take it out of my body by just counting it with McDonald's and Burger King.
You led me down the garden path, stomach.
Which is gone. The stomach's gone. So I'm talking to it in retrospect.
Good on you. Now, you guys are
good on me.
raining all on my parade here. So I did say, Thursday night football, but the Browns had a win. Now, Baker Mayfield came into the game. He had his first win for his first start. It wasn't his first start. His first game, first pro game, and he's got a win under the belt. It was at home in Cleveland. The fans would have gone absolutely nuts. Quick question, guys. Do you guys know who the Browns last beat? What was their last win prior to this?
Oh, man. They talked about it last night. Robert Griffin III was the quarterback, I believe.
No.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. I thought that's what they said last night. Or maybe it was the season Robert Griffin III came back from surgery. I don't know.
It could be. No, it wasn't Redskins. It was Chargers.
With the Chargers missed a field goal late in the game.
I think so.
It won 20 to 19 or 20 to 17, something like that.
20 to 17, and this win was 21 to 17 over the Jets. Happy days. Happy days. It's always good to see. Well, you know, I think that's an exciting... If Hugh does the right thing, and that's a big, big if, this could be a team on the rise.
Yeah, Mayfield looked good. I mean, on a rise from where they were.
Mate, they should have won last week, Schepps.
A tall task. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, my God. How did he miss? What did he miss, 4 in a row?
But regardless, kicker aside, like the big thing is quarterback. And the difference between Mayfield and Tyrod was so easy to see. Mayfield was so much – his decision-making was so much faster. And that was the difference, like clearly, night and day. He was, boom, drop back, dart, drop back, dart. And then the times where he was rolling around, you know, he was looking upfield. Tyrod had trouble in the pocket last night for sure. Just things were closing in around him, and he wasn't even able to get the ball out. And Baker Mayfield was getting the ball out. And Njoku became a factor last night, going down the seam. Like I think Njoku's stock rises with Mayfield the quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. Now, another big story from the week is the Pittsburgh Steelers and their locker room, I guess most notably. A lot of headlines saying, has Mike Tomlin lost the locker room? I guess it all started with Antonio Brown tweeting out in response to someone who said something about Ben Roethlisberger and his decision-making on the field and the play of the Steelers in general, tweeted, "Trade me, let's find out," which was a pretty stupid thing to tweet. And then Antonio Brown said in the locker room on Thursday that he's really committed to the organisation, but he's just really pissed off because they're losing. But he doesn't often show it the right way. He does silly things, doesn't he? But is there reason to be concerned? And the Steelers play the Bucs, the surging Tampa Bay Bucs, under the leadership, under
on the road
guidance.
On the road.
Guidance.
They're on the road, aren't they, this week?
Of Fitzmagic, who is...
Yes, I believe so.
Man.
Sorry.
He has swag. If you saw him at that press conference, I
don't know if he's got swag. I just think he has a good sense of... He's got a sense of humour.
He does. And
not that you've really had a chance to see it, have you?
No. But this is not a game that you would have penciled in as being a Bucks win, but now...
It's probably not a game you actually penciled in to watch.
No, but now...
It's Monday night, and it's so...
No, well, you have to watch it.
For your point, right, you have to watch it, but for your point, do you have to be concerned? Well, the whole world is going to be watching this game. So I think they could be teeter-tottering on the verge of a breakdown. If things don't go well in front of the whole world, then maybe, it kind of reminds me of Tomlin's not Coughlin, but Tom, he doesn't. To me, I think Coughlin he has more on his resume than Tomlin, but it kind of reminds me of the Giants when they turned on Tom Coughlin. You know what I'm saying? That sort of season. And as a Cowboys fan, I loved it because I thought Tom Coughlin knew what he was doing, and I loved when they got rid of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, not for Tom Coughlin. I hate that he had lost his job, but that he wasn't on the Giants organization anymore. So if Tomlin, basically what I'm saying, I don't think Tomlin's the problem. I think there's just problems within the organization, and he might be a casualty of that. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of similar, with players getting frustrated and holding out, and then he might get the brunt of the problem.
Yeah, to a point. But Tomlin has at times showed his lack of having the hold of a situation. Not just what might happen in the locker room, because most of us don't know, but just on the field with what happened with it. What was it last year when they were waiting on the touchdown for? Was it? It wasn't.
That's right.
Was it?
Yeah,
It wasn't Jesse James, was it? I'm not thinking of that one.
It might have been.
And they had like a couple of minutes while all this stuff got sorted out, and then when they went to, they had to call a timeout because they hadn't anything planned. Like, you're sitting there for two. Well, you think someone like Bill Belichick's going to sit there for 2 minutes and go, well, just wait, guys, wait. We'll just see what happens on the instant replay. Mate, he couldn't give a rat's behind what's going on the instant. Mate, he's already working out what's going to happen next.
Yes.
Right.
And I think Tomlin lacks. He's probably
situational awareness.
Yes, very much so, John. Yep,
that was a good word.
It was. That's why we didn't come up with it.
Yeah.
Patted Johnny on the back. Not rattling his cage now, am I?
Now, speaking of Fitzmagic,
you just set me up to break me down.
Yeah, I am.
Speaking of Fitzmagic,
I'll get you nice and right on top just before you get to the peak, and then just chop your legs out.
When we were in June, I'll just keep going.
Yeah,
when we were in June,
we'll just talk to him.
And it was announced that Jameis Winston was going to be suspended for the first 3 games. And when we all looked at the matchups of the Bucs, which was the Saints, Eagles, and Steelers, we could easily see that the Bucs season basically being over. They were staring down the barrel of a probable 0-3 start, but they're 2-0. You've got Fitzmagic, who's thrown for 819 yards and 8 TDs with a 78.7% completion percentage. They could start 3-0.
Mate, you go on the ESPN website and they have the ESPN stat site.
Yeah.
And in the stat site, if anybody's been on there, is when you go on there. I don't know if you've been on there, Schepps, but it'll give you like receiving, running backs, defensive side. And they have a photo of the guy that's leading. Click on it today, and there's a picture of Fitzmagic. Like, not something I don't think I've ever seen on there. It's just, you're used to seeing like your Brady or your Breeze or your Aaron Rodgers, and it's Fitzmagic, like bang right there. So it's fantastic. It's great.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's what it is, but I mean, he has a way of coming up big for a franchise, at certain times. But living in New York, New Jersey, well, the Jets, right? I call them New Jersey because New York, the Giants and the Jets both play in New Jersey. They don't play in New York. They fell in love with Fitzpatrick, and he just let them down. So
when they needed him most, unfortunately.
Yeah. But I mean, he's probably going to keep doing well, and he's going to take over for Jameis, and I don't think they're going to be too happy with the final outcome.
No, I know, but the question is, how long does Fitzpatrick stay in there? Does it become a bit of a case of he has to lose the job before Jameis gets in now?
I feel like it's there's a thin line. I think if you don't give Jameis the job right away, I don't think you can just go back to Jameis, because I think you're sending a message. They're both veterans. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's very insulting. Like, if Jameis doesn't get the job back right away, I don't think it's going to sit well with him, and I don't think you can just go back to Jameis after that.
Do you really
you either
care?
go back
Do you really
to
care?
No.
Would the franchise really care? Only from the fact that what they spent to get him?
Care. The question is, how long do you hold on to Fitzpatrick? I think the type of personality Jameis is, I don't think it's going to sit well with him. If I don't think you can just go back to him after that. I think the Jameis Winston experiment is done if you don't go back to him right away. And it's either you ride out Fitzpatrick and then draft another quarterback, or I think Jameis is going to want out of town. That's what I think is going to happen.
Well, the Bucks haven't. Well, how long's Jameis been there now? He's had 2 whole seasons. Besides,
at least,
yeah,
I think he's.
And what have they done with him? They've done nothing.
No, but again, that's not the question. Like Well,
it becomes part of the question, doesn't it? Well, you go and grab this guy in the first round. Was he
second overall?
Second overall. Yeah. And look, he's not the only one. He's not the only one from that class. Mate, Mariota's a bust. And I said that at the start of the year. That was my call. He's a bust. Mate, there comes a point you just cut your loss, and he is what he is. And let's face it, mate, this off-field crap that he's doing, and this is not the first one. There's probably, we know the one that he had back at in Florida. It doesn't sit well with people.
No.
Let's not keep talking about it because we'll probably talk with lots of other storylines, but it's going to be an interesting storyline in week 3 for sure. Now, let's go to our segment, G, and we haven't quite got a name for it, but we might have a name for the sit part of it.
Have we got? I don't know if we got a name for it. We'll have something inserted in there.
Well, we'll have something inserted
sound grab.
in there. A sound grab.
Yeah.
Well, the start. We'll do the start.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But if we're going to do that little sound grab, we have to do all the starts and then all the sits. Is that right? Okay, all right, no worries. So, let's do our starts for the week. Hooray. Ooh. Pop, what an awesome segment.
Hey, mate, there's plenty of companies out there that pay a shitload of money to people that come up with some crappy slogan, or they change, they put a curve on something and all of a sudden it's cost them $1 million. Yeah, so don't be upset that we haven't come up with anything yet. Because no one's paying us.
We've saved $1 million.
Actually, I was listening just quickly, just a quick rabbit hole talking about that. I was listening to a podcast about diamonds and how diamonds started and De Beers and everything.
Right.
Anyway, and they came up with the slogan. I think it's diamonds are forever.
Yes.
Okay. Which is one of the most famous, voted by all these people that do this for a gig over the last 50 years, right?
Yep.
Give me one other one that is in the top 3. That's in the top 3. I can't remember where it was.
Just do it.
Well done, Schepps.
Coke is life?
No.
Oh.
Coke gives you life. Takes it away as well. No, that's fine. You gave me one. Well done.
That's cool.
Yeah. So don't be upset that we haven't come up with something for start sit yet. Okay, it'll come. It'll come naturally. Let it just grow.
Yeah, let it grow
like a fungus.
like a fungus. Ugh. Okay.
All right.
Well, Schepps, you go first. You're a guest. So, well, no, you're not a guest.
QBs.
Yes, QBs.
So my start this week is Stafford, man. I think Stafford's a home run versus the Patriots. I think it's going to be like they're each probably going to score 50 points. And which is kind of odd, given that Patricia's a defensive coach and Belichick's a defensive coach. You'd think it would be a slobber knocker, but it is not going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be boom, 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 touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. So I'm saying start. That's the sound of darts going by your ear because these quarterbacks are just going to be throwing them. So give me Stafford this week.
I still can't.
Do you want me to go?
I still can't get past slobber knocker. What's a slobber knocker?
Like an all-out brawl,
right.
So if you lived in Arkansas, if you lived in Arkansas and you went out to the bar and you and your bros are out there and you're drinking some beers and all of a sudden you get into a fight with the guy sitting next to you and then the guy sitting next to them get in the fight as well because you bumped into them, and then the guy sitting next to them get in the fight as well because you bumped into them as well, and they got 4 different parties fighting. That's a slobber knocker,
Okay, all
All right.
Weird. I want to add to Schepps as well. I've got Matt Stafford as well. Mate, you look last week, Blake Bortles, 32.5 fantasy points, through for 367 yards, 4 touchdowns. The Lions' run game is poor. That's a surprise. It's a surprise to everybody that's been that bad this year.
Isn't it?
It is, especially the Schepps because his boys toting the rock down there. And look at the Lions D the last couple of weeks, mate. It has been opened up more times than a 70s Euro porn movie. It's just terrible. And look, and as Shep said, this is going to be like just air raid sirens going off in this game. There ain't no what's wrong. You're going to have to edit that out.
No, I can't. When you said it's opened up more times, I thought, oh no, what are you going to say? You could have said Linda Lovelace or something, I guess.
Oh, I did have Linda Lovelace crossed it out. So those old 70s Euro porn movies, mate, there was a lot of shit going on back then. Go way ahead of the time. But look, the Patriots average at the moment against quarterbacks 21.7 fantasy points.
And Stafford is due. That you have to take into account as well.
I think he has the second most attempts so far this season. Behind, I think Roethlisberger has the most. Just that's off the top of my head, so I might be wrong.
Lions fans are ready to give up on Stafford, Patricia, the whole organization, and I think if they can get a win this week, hopefully they can get on board. Because I don't think they're. I don't know. I don't want the Matt Patricia experiment to be over just yet.
Okay, so do you have any more QBs?
No, that's it.
Hold on. Hey, wait, whoa. What about me?
Hey, I'm going to do mine now.
Oh, okay.
I was just agreeing with Shepps for the last one and putting a bit more detail.
Oh, I thought you had the same guy.
No, go. So, look, I've got Matt Ryan versus the Saints, who are giving up 28.3 fantasy points. The Saints have given up the fourth most yards. This I couldn't believe. They have given up the fourth most yards on the third least amount of attempts.
You're kidding.
And they are tied fifth for the most for 5 touchdowns. So Ryan at the moment is the number 12 fantasy QB, and in week 2 he jumped to he was number 5 with 30.6 fantasy points. Now, mate, it was good to watch as a Falcons fan the offense last week. They looked more like 2016 Falcons than what we saw in the first game this year and a lot of last year, well, most of last year anyway. And this could also be another air raid siren game. There'd be balls flying around all over there. And look, the reason that might happen is the Falcons might find themselves chasing. I thought it would happen last week with the losses of Jones and Keanu Neal. But this week they're up against Kamara. And, mate, he's going to torch anybody that's not anywhere near him. And it might happen this week, so we might be chasing the score.
I was going to say, again, with the 70s porn, is that there are balls flying all over the place.
Yeah, I did a subtle little giggle, but I didn't go any further.
And I've got, speaking of which, he has been mentioned in dispatches already, Blake Bortles.
He's still available. We have a 14-team league.
Yeah.
He's still available on that 14-team league.
Great streaming quarterback.
He won't. Well, he'd be a good bye week guy for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Now you mentioned his stats against the Patriots, and the Tennessee look terrible, and their defense looks terrible. So I think he's going to have another good performance. And don't we like Keelan Cole, who maybe we'll talk about him a little bit later.
But mate, they're giving him more. They're trusting him more. They're allowing him to throw the ball more.
Yes,
and he's not. Mate, every quarterback is going to make a mistake, even the greats. So, I think sometimes when a great quarterback makes a mistake, it's sort of like, oh, well, that's not like him. We'll give him a slack. As soon as Bortles does it, here we go, Blake Bortles, try another interception.
Yeah.
But it's not happening.
No. Let's go to running back. Schepps, give us a running back. You're going to start this week.
All right. So the running back I am going to start is Matt Breida. I'm ready for the Matt Breida. I'm here for it. I'm ready for the Matt Breida blow-up game. He did very well last week. He needs some more touches. I think he's earned it. And I think this is the week it comes, man. He's playing against the Kansas City Chiefs, and their defense, it's so odd to me that, like, watching the Cowboys and watch them be a defensive team and then watching the Chiefs and watching them be an offensive team, I'm used to the opposite. I'm used to the Chiefs playing good defense, and they really just haven't been. And, before the season, I said Breida's going to outscore Morris easily. And Morris he shouldn't even be in the picture anymore. He can't even hold Breida's jockstrap. So start Matt Breida against. I'm sorry.
Things like that go on in change room to the football team. Sheps, you know.
Start Matt Breida.
Shut him up. No, look, I've got him down here too, Sheps. The Chiefs have given up 27.2 fantasy points, and most of those fantasy points and most of the yards that they've given up 123 yards on the ground and 1 TD. They have given up 261 yards to receiving backs. And Matt Breida does that very well. It's not something that Morris does, even though Morris is out-touching Breida at the moment. Mate, this game, the way the game will probably go, will probably flow away from Alfred Morris altogether.
For sure. Have you got anyone else?
I do. I have Corey Clement versus Indy this week. Indy giving up 18.1 fantasy points. He's another guy that catches the ball beautifully out of the backfield, and Indy giving up the second most yards to receiving backs.
Wow.
So we have the Chiefs giving up the most, Indy giving up the second most. I think add on top of that the return of Carson Wentz this week, a bit of lift to the whole team. The whole offense will get a spark. I think you'll get teams more concerned now about the receivers than they were before. Look, J.J., no certainty to start. I don't know, is he in or out, Sheps? Do you know at the moment?
I heard it's likely he won't play.
Likely won't play.
He's not likely to play.
Sproul's probably not playing. He's got the hamstring. Corey Clement.
That's something I'd like to see. I'd like to see Clement get all the touches because it's just that offense. They don't do that. I want to see what he can do with 20 touches, maybe 15 carries and 5 receptions. I want to see what the kid's capable of because he showed promise and why not use it if you got it? So I hope they give him a shot this week.
Because you want to keep him keen. That's why you don't use it.
I guess so. I've got Gio Bernard. Now, Joe Mixon obviously sidelined with a knee injury at the moment. I know. It does. I echo that thought, opinion, whatever that was.
He's still like number 1 in the NFL in rushing yards.
Is he really?
Yeah. I saw some stat yesterday that he's like, you go on and give your reason, and I'll look that up.
Okay. So, obviously, the Bengals have got a new offensive coordinator in Bill Lazor. See if you can pick Bill Lazor's favourite word. I'll just read you this thing. I don't look at Gio any different than Mixon, he said. I don't want to compare him to anybody, but to me, the guy's a warrior. Coming off knee surgery from 2 years ago and then what he did last year, I think he's a warrior. I think he's a really unique physically, and to be able to do that at his stature, to play the way he plays, he finishes runs, he doesn't go out of bounds, he doesn't go down easy. The guy's a warrior. I have great respect for him, I really do. Bill Lazor is going to use Gio Bernard, right? And they're playing the Panthers. And actually, when I looked up the stat, the Panthers don't seem like they're a good matchup because they're giving up the 23rd amount of points to the running back position. But when you look at it, they did actually keep Zeke relatively bottled up in week 1, but the Cowboys, that's a whole other story. And Tevin Coleman racked up 125 yards on 20 touches against the Panthers last week. So I think Gio is actually going to be a sneaky good start.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that, but
who else is going to carry the ball? Is it Walton?
No.
Oh man, don't get me started.
Not Jim. Not John Boy. Not Sue Ellen. Not Mary Lou. Do you ever watch that show?
No.
A long time
The
ago.
Waltons?
Yes.
Hey, Joe Mixon is third. He was second before the Browns played last night. So given just after 2 weeks, Mixon was second and Matt Breida was first. Okay. Mixon has 179 yards on 38 carries, which is a lot of carries for a guy who's missed as much time right now as he has.
My word. Okay, let's go to wide receiver, Sheps.
Kenny Galladay. I'm riding that Detroit Lions stack. So I'm starting Matthew Stafford and I'm starting Kenny Galladay. Kenny Galladay is going to blow up this week. He's going to have a huge game. He's going to continue because he's playing great. I think he's had over 18 points the last 2 weeks, and he's going to continue to do that. So start Kenny Galladay.
It's got the same one. But, mate, the Pats are giving up 28.3 fantasy points. We've already spoken about the ball's going to be in the air more than it's anywhere else. Mate, Kenny Galladay last week was probably, if you watch the game, was the only one that was truly in sync with Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford must have overthrown Jones 4 times, at least, I reckon. He's got the size, he's athletic, he has the ability, And I think you've already seen in the first couple of games that Shep said, just judging by his fantasy points, that he's now taking that next step. And I think he's going to be... he'd have to be at the moment the number one receiver based on the way, if you watch the game, the way that the game's been played and what he's doing for Matt Stafford, the number one receiver in Detroit at the moment. He's not going to have Stephen Gilmore probably in his face.
No.
Well, he's going to get some nice little cushy matchup.
Okay. I've got two. Keelan Cole. Now, against the Patriots, obviously he had that fantastic grab. 7 catches for 116 yards and a score. He is pretty much the number one guy in the Jags passing game.
Ooh. How about that catch last week?
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh, mate.
That one-handed grab.
Mate, it's not...
Yeah.
Mate, it's not just... Mate, he was at speed and it was behind him and he just put his hand up and just sort of grabbed it and kept going, sort of, didn't he? It was just...
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It was.
And they won.
Personal jinx.
It's nice to it's nice to do something like that, a personal accomplishment when your team gets it, unlike the Odell Beckham catch where people forget that they lost that game. So good on him.
Did they lose that game?
Yeah, but nobody cares. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Cowboys,
as a player,
dude. Really?
Yeah, as a well,
outside of the borders of Texas, did anybody really notice?
When you play sports and you do something great, it doesn't sit well when the team loses. It sucks. No. Enjoy it. At least personally, I can't enjoy doing something great if my team loses. It
like
ruins
when you tackled Ray Rice.
Mind you...
Yeah. We got demolished.
So no one remembers the great tackle.
No. But mind you, with OBJ, see, he's a diva, and that catch is a brand. That's his brand. He doesn't give a shit that they lost.
No, neither would I. He's making a fortune off that catch.
My word, he is.
Serious fortune. That's like me seriously painting one wall and painting the best wall I've ever done in my whole life, and people walk past and go, "Oh my god!" and I just live off that one wall for the rest of my life.
And then the house burned down.
That's right.
and you still bragging about that wall. Man, that wall was awesome.
That's right. Now I've got another one to add.
That wall was so awesome, mate. It was the only thing that left standing.
Oh, add into that the
Shep's trying to bring me down.
Tennessee defense is giving up the second most points to wide receivers. And I've got another one to add in. I'm adding in Calvin Ridley.
Oh, I was going to put Calvin in there.
Yeah, now in week 1...
Not in this section, but
hang on. Don't rain on my zinger. Took me 10 minutes to come up with this. In week 1, he made out like Homer Simpson. He had a donut.
Ooh.
Not good.
What?
I wish you wouldn't. You've done these in the past. Just stick to the Twitter. You're much better on the Twitter. Okay. Better than the spoken word.
That took me a good deal of time to come up with. Okay, all right.
What happened in week 2, though?
Against the Panthers in week 2, he had 4 catches for 64 yards and a TD. Now,
and he made out like who? You can't start with Homer Simpson, not end with somebody.
He was good. He was good. Mohamed Sanu's been struggling, so he's only had 6 catches for 37 yards in 2 games, and that's in Ridley's corner as well. So this is a Saints D, and Shepps, you've already spoken about this, the Saints' lack of D. They've actually surrendered the most points to wide receivers this season. So I think Calvin Ridley, maybe he's arrived. I think he's going to have a good game, certainly against the Saints.
Well, maybe Sarkisian actually realised that he actually played for the Falcons. It always helps if you know what your roster is.
Maybe. Shepps, give us a tight end.
I'm going to go with Trey Burton in Chicago because I feel like Allen Robinson has been Mitchell's go-to man, and I think Allen Robinson's going to get the Patrick Peterson treatment, and I don't think Mitchell is talented enough to try to challenge Patrick Peterson, so I think he's going to check down to wide receiver 2, and wide receiver 2 in this offense is Trey Burton. So I think Trey Burton is going to have that breakout game. You know, a lot of people were high on Trey Burton heading into this offseason, and I think this is the week that Trey Burton will cash in for you. I don't think it's going to be a weekly thing. I don't think I trust that Bears offense, but Trey Burton this week against the Arizona Cardinals.
G.
I'm going to go with the same philosophy that I went with last year, and that is if you have a tight end, you play him.
The same what did you say?
Philosophy.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's
Mate,
better.
You ask me to pronounce a lot of P's and H's and S's all in one word. You know, I struggle. It's just mean. It's mean.
You rained on my donut joke.
Oh, your donut joke is crap.
Hey,
Hey,
be nice to the editor. His donut joke was crap. It wasn't terrible.
it wasn't good either.
It was just too early for me to crack up. That's what it was.
Okay. But look, if I have to put someone in there, I'm going to put in Kittle up against the Chiefs this week. They're giving up 14.5 fantasy points. They've already given up 201 yards and a touchdown to tight ends, and made they're the third worst against tight ends. So
no Eric Berry. You don't have to worry about Eric Berry. So I think it's a good matchup.
Yeah,
there we go.
For sure. Okay, I've put in O.J. Howard. And, I wasn't a massive O.J. Howard believer. I thought Cameron Brate sort of muddied the waters, and I was almost more likely to kind of roster or start Cameron Brate. But I think it's a bit of a Fitzmagic thing. He looks to O.J. Howard, and...
Is Brate hurt?
No, I don't think so.
He's got 0 points.
Yes.
Yes. I think that's Fitzpatrick's just like of O.J. Howard. Look, mate, he's a Harvard graduate. He's probably looked at the film going, mate, how are you guys not throwing the ball to him last year? He's down on the side going, are you guys morons? Like, seriously, he's probably thinking to himself that Jameis Winston is a moron. But and look, he's pretty much told everybody and showed everybody that he basically... He is in his by the actions, but anyway. But he's probably sit there and go, mate, this guy's got it. I'm going to make this guy what he could be.
Yeah, and add in to the equation that the Steelers' defense is looking terrible. I think we might have already mentioned that.
I don't think they're as bad as what they look.
What?
I don't think they're as bad as what they.
I'm trying to break that down.
They don't look as bad. They don't look as bad as
they really are.
We've seen the last. I'm sorry. They're not as bad as they've looked.
Yes, exactly.
They're better than losing Shazier has been so hard for them.
Oh my word! I mean, look at the Falcons D losing Keanu Neal and Deion Jones.
Stepped it up, baby.
You've had guys step up. Like look at Duke Riley. Duke Riley last week. He kind of didn't really lose a beat, and Devondre Campbell stepped up. So the Falcons, I think they're, I don't know, they're rising to the situation. I don't know necessarily if the Steelers are. T.J. Watt's playing very well.
There's a lot of other stuff going on, isn't there? And it all affects everybody. In the end.
My word, it does.
Yeah.
Well, listen, let's go to the flip side of this, and it's the...
Yeah, mule! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Whoa, camel! Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, camel! Whoa! Oh, come on, whoa! When I say whoa, I mean whoa!
So which quarterback should we whoa camel, Schepps?
I got two. One of them is Russell Wilson versus the Dallas Cowboys. I think that their offensive line is terrible. Baldwin's still out. They really don't have a playmaker. If they had a playmaking receiving back, I could see him a lot of dump offs and maybe a few yards, touchdown. A guy who can kind of save him. They don't even have that.
If they had a Saquon Barkley, mate, has he not come the dump off? Has he not come the dump off king?
18 receptions, and he has 70 yards, but
he can't get it done between the tackles. Schepps, I said that
he doesn't run. He doesn't square his shoulders. There was a play last week. If you go back and watch, if you have the NFL, whatever it's called, where you can go back and watch the game in a condensed version, there's a play late in I think it was the third quarter, where he caught a ball over the middle, and he ran about 3 yards, and the safety came barreling down at him, and he laid down. Like Barkley, shoulder back, laid down, fell on the floor so that he wouldn't get hit. It was a subtle thing, but if you go back and watch it, it is so telling of the type of player he is. He it was very bizarre to see a guy that size.
Mate, I spoke about this in the off-season, didn't I? I have concerns about him being tough enough. Look, I had the same concerns about McCaffrey, and I admit it, and he's proved me wrong. Mate, he's running hard, and he runs hard up the middle. Barkley doesn't do it. Mate, if you got yards for taking the ball to the corner, he'd already have about 600 racked up, I reckon.
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
Right, but to reel this back in, it's Russell Wilson. They don't have an offensive line. They don't have playmakers. The Cowboys' defensive line looks phenomenal. They have waves and waves of players, and I think they're going to get after him. And Randy Gregory is supposed to play this week, so we can match that athleticism. Van Der Esch is rising. He had like 7 solo tackles on only 28 snaps, and that was very impressive. So this defense is rising. They got corners who can play man, and then also add the dynamic of Chris Richard, who was kind of the scapegoat last year. He was kicked out of town. He was the old Seattle Seahawks defensive coordinator when they were the Legion of Boom. Now he's calling the plays in Dallas. Marinelli's focused on the defensive line. Richard's calling the plays. They're blitzing. And I think he wants to prove a point. He wants to send it home. And I think Wilson's going to get shut down. And then also, I'm sitting Andrew Luck. I don't really like the Colts matchup for him. The reason I'm saying that is I have him on the bench in one of my leagues anyway. And I'm sitting Luck and I'm sitting Russell Wilson for I'm playing Cam Newton over them. So sit them both.
AJ's shaking his head because last week he really brought it. He had like 2 or 3 players for each position. This week he's back to his usual self and he's got 1, and you just snatch it right out from underneath his nose. No, it doesn't matter.
I just think Philly. Well, you could talk about Luck because I didn't say much. They're playing Philly, and I think it's in Philly, and I think they're going to shut him down. But you can give me the reason why you're sitting Luck. I won't say much.
Well, you basically covered it.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, now move on to me.
Yeah, keep going.
I've got Phillip Rivers against the Rams this week.
Yeah.
The Rams have only given up 3.9 fantasy points to QBs. Now, granted, you got to, mate. They've only played what?
Excuse me.
What?
That few fantasy points to QB.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but mate, they've played Derek Carr and Sam Bradford. Okay, so let's just, whoa. But look, Derek Carr threw for 303 yards, but he also threw 3 interceptions in there, and Bradford threw for a whole 90. 90 yards. Like, seriously. No wonder Buddy Rose is yawning. He's saying, what the hell am I doing in Arizona? Why did you draft me? Like, what, Rosen couldn't throw more than 90 yards. Mate, I'd prefer him to throw for 240 and 3 interceptions than bloody 90 yards and 1 interception and no touchdowns. Like, give us a spell.
Imagine being a DJ owner right now. Ugh.
Be tough sledding.
It's not good. It's not good.
No.
Yeah. Now, look, Rivers is... this is working against me, but I always like to... I don't like to hold back who I'm going to... people are going to start him because he's Phillip Rivers.
Of course.
I'm not saying you're going to bench him, but sometimes you got to taper your expectations with people. He's 4th overall as QBs. He's 4th in passing yards, 9th in attempts, and he's 3rd in TDs. So that's all working against what I just said. But mate, you're up against the Rams. You're up against guys on the line like Donald Sue. You got Peters and Talib in the backfield.
Yeah.
Now this is serious. It is a lights out defense. And you look across as far as fantasy goes. And it's probably, as far as just football stats go, mate, they are at the top or at the bottom, depending on which way it stacks up, as the best in holding out every position. Running backs, quarterbacks, wide receivers, they're just, mate, this is a real kick-ass
team.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And how we overlooked them not to be better than they were, mate, some people probably put them in there and well done, but I didn't, and I'm an idiot so far. I've also got Derek Carr at Miami, and Miami look good. The 2 weeks that I've watched them now, maybe they got that locker room sorted out. They got rid of the weeds in the building, so to speak, that were sort of starting to pollinate and spread. Do you like that, Nellens? That's not bad. I'm going to write that one down. Can you pass me a pen?
I don't have a pen.
Oh, damn.
Oh, I do.
But they look good. They've only given up 8.8 fantasy points to QBs. Look, they gave up 13.8 fantasy points to Sam Darnold and 1.6 to Mariota with 103 yards and 2 interceptions. And as I've written underneath there, Mariota's a bust anyway. But look, they look a lot better than people expected them to look. Because did we really know? We didn't know with who they got rid of what was going to happen to not only this team as a whole, but to the defense.
Sure.
But, mate, the defense is really, really working.
Let's go to running back. Sheps, who have you got?
All right, so who I got running back is, let me pull this up real quick. I thought you were going to talk about Luck here. I got Dalvin Cook. I think you got to sit him. You got to be prepared to sit him. He hasn't practiced the last 2 days. He's got a hammy. They're playing the Bills. So this is more of a be prepared to sit. Have your option ready, insert it, because I can't imagine them forcing him into a game against the Buffalo Bills where they already know they're going to smack them. So the Vikings are going to, it's not announced yet, but if by chance Dalvin Cook plays, I can't imagine him getting many touches. Coming off of a season-ending injury last year, now having a hammy. So sit Dalvin Cook, and it might come up Sunday that he's out. So you have no choice but to sit him. But listen to the show, be prepared, have your second option ready because you should sit him.
Sounds good. G.
Got a couple. I'm going to put Philip Lindsay in there. Well, I love Philip Lindsay, but I'm going to put him in there this week up against the Ravens, giving up 2.9 fantasy points. Look, there's a couple of things working against him. Looks like Mosley probably is likely not to be playing, and defensive tackle Michael Pierce is out with a foot, so that's going to hurt their defense, obviously. And that's Philip Lindsay's probably a guy to take advantage of all that.
No, hang on. This is the sit, not start.
No, but mate, I give it both ways. I'm just I shouldn't say that after everything else that's gone on in this pod at the start. I give it both ways. But anyway, look, they've only given up 167 yards on the ground and 17 to receivers and guys out of the backfield, and that's what Philip Lindsay's part of his game is. And look, granted that they didn't give up anything to Buffalo, and most of those yards, 111 of them came to Mixon, but Mixon's a different talent to the guys he's up against this week. The Ravens will be back to kick some ass this week after what happened to him up against Cincinnati. And look, you put Royce Freeman in there, but at the moment, Royce Freeman's exactly what I thought he might be. But I'm happy to be proven wrong. Well, I'm not happy to be proven wrong because you always want to be right. But at the moment, he's what he looked like.
Can I just add into that? Philip Lindsay's actually become the first undrafted free agent in NFL history with over 100 scrimmage yards in each of his first two games. Did you know
Very
that?
good. And can I also put the Colts in there? Anybody, any of them. Put them all in there. Put them all in there. Up against the Eagles this week, giving up 11.5 fantasy points. Mate, they've only given up 160 yards in total and one TD. Look, Wilkins looks far the better back than Mac. And last week, Mac looked average at best. So I don't think Wilkins can get it done because Wilkins looked better, I think, last week than he did the first week, in my opinion. But yeah, Hines, yeah, he might be the one that gets the most work out of these. Will get the most fantasy points out of the three of them this week. But look, I'm not starting any of them up against. Have
you guys seen the spread for that game? I believe it's like 6 points. I think that the Ravens are favored by 6. That seems like an awful lot. Versus the Broncos. I don't think the Broncos are that bad.
I don't think the Broncos are that good either.
No. But the Ravens at home, it's a totally different team.
So you think it's that much of a given?
I don't know. I'm not a gambler, mate, so...
Yeah, but it doesn't have to do with gambling. I mean, you don't have to take that gambling aside. Do you think the Ravens are the heavy favorite in this game?
Is 6 points heavy?
I wouldn't. Yeah, that's very heavy.
Okay.
It's the normal is like 3 points.
Yep.
6 points. 6 points is a slap in the face if I'm Denver. If I'm Denver's coach and I see 6 points, I'm in the locker room and I'm posting that on the the bulletin board, and I'm telling everybody we might as well not show up this week because we are expected to lose, and not only lose, but we're expected to lose by a touchdown because that's how bad we are. And I'm doing some cage rattling because that would upset me as a coach for sure.
Okay, so I've got, and it is low-hanging fruit and...
Your favourite type of fruit, isn't it, AJ?
Low-hanging fruit, yeah, of course. The least amount of effort that I can exert.
You actually pick them up off the ground.
Better.
Yes.
Much better.
Well, actually, no, it's even better. You just go to the supermarket and you just buy them. Someone's already picked them.
Well, I have to.
You don't even have to get off the load, and you just buy them.
I have to go to the
all
supermarket
packaged up in the plastic
to do that, don't I? Guess to go drive.
Well, you got to go to an orchard to pick them up, unless you got an orchard growing. Are you Italian or Greek or something?
No, okay. I don't have an orchard. No. What was I talking about? David Johnson. I was talking about. He's the low-hanging fruit.
He didn't look good last week.
Looked terrible.
I was going to put him in here too.
As you said, Schepps, if you've got him on your squad, especially redraft, you probably picked him quite high. And that Bears D is for real. They're 4th in the NFL in run D, and I won't say a large part of it, but I mean a big part of it is certainly Khalil Mack. And that, I don't think there's going to be... Well, Arizona's looking terrible. Full stop.
Seriously, they look like the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah, they do.
Without a doubt.
Worse than the Bills?
Oh. Well, the Bills actually have a quarterback who can throw over 90 yards, which sort of helps.
I think they both are on an island together. The Bills and the Cardinals, it's like they're challenging each other week after week.
That's right. So, Schepps, wide receiver.
My wide receiver sit this week is going to be Allen Robinson. For the reasons I said before, for why I'm starting Trey Burton, that is why I'm sitting Allen Robinson. I think that Patrick Peterson's going to be with him all day, and he's going to lock him down, and Trubisky is going to be told not to target him, and he's not going to target him. And I don't think Allen Robinson's going to have a day, so sit him.
Okay. Well, listen, mine is just kind of stupid because I was looking at things and
different from anything else you
and
said. But go.
Ooh,
that hurt.
That's another dig.
If there was an opposite to NFL Survivor,
Mate, I'm not rattling cages, but I'm shaking them.
You know how in NFL Survivor you have to pick a team to win? Mm-hmm. Well, if you had to pick the worst possible matchup for a number one wide receiver in the league, it would be Kelvin Benjamin. No one's starting Kelvin Benjamin.
Did you put him in your sit?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Why are you even? Mate, no one's even got him on a roster. Everybody's laughing at you right now.
I just wrote no. It was stupid.
It is. It is.
Stupid.
And I'm glad I said what I said before.
What?
Now that I know who it is.
But they're in Minnesota.
I gave you a free ticket.
Yeah.
I gave you a free ticket when you went David Johnson. When you went David Johnson, I said, all right, I'll let you go. And now you're going low-hanging fruit, and then you went, well, but it's also a given. It was as much of a given as Kelvin Benjamin. Ugh.
Is he? Oh, that's terrible. I can't believe he came.
That's comedy value.
I'm going to pick it. That's not... Okay. Yeah, we're laughing at you. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit.
You know what, though? Maybe there is someone out there who was thinking about starting Kelvin Benjamin, and you hear all of us saying how easy it is to sit him. Please listen to us.
Exactly. And that person could be very happy they could win their league this week.
All right, I'm going to give you...
There we go.
I have to climb to the top of this tree.
Okay.
I'm going to pull one up right off the top. It's shiny. It's a big, shiny red one. Apple, that is. Keenan Allen.
Oh, I thought you were going to go Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen against the Rams. They're only giving up 3.35 fantasy points. They have given up in 2 games 98 yards to wide receivers. No touchdowns. That's just incredible. It seriously is. Okay, once again, I have to use a caveat that, mate, they've only played the Raiders and the Cards. Mate, Shepsy in his day could have got probably, if you gave him 2 games against the Rams, he probably would have got 98 yards. He probably would have got killed, but he might have got 98 yards. These guys are paid professional football players.
Now, I'm going to kind of disagree with you because I actually looked at Keenan Allen and thought about it. I think
but you're not willing to put him on the block.
No,
I'm happy to put him on the block.
No, because I disagree. I disagree with you.
Okay.
Because I think that it's going to be hard yards, but he's going to be working the middle of that field. Heaven knows that's the only place it's going to be free.
Am I saying, once again, are you going to... I've got Keenan Allen on about 2 of my... Am I going to sit him?
No.
Hell no. But maybe my expectations have to be a little bit lower.
Yeah, I'm sitting Tyrell Williams in SFB and Scott Fishbowl, which is kind of going off the similar thing that G's saying. I don't think any of these wide receivers are going to have a good day. And I picked up Tavon Austin because the pickings are so slim in SFB to start over Tyrell Williams because I just don't think Tyrell Williams, he's been very underwhelming this season. So I agree with you. I don't think any of the wide receivers have a good matchup this week. I think,
Oh, look, I agree, mate. Look, I'm sitting Rivers, so with that...
Add Rivers to the sit.
Yeah.
Add Rivers to the sit. Sit him as well, guys.
Yeah, well, that's what I did. If you listen to anything I said, I do believe I said sit Rivers, but that's okay. You might have nodded off, Sheps. Well, I thought that coffee actually wakes you up, but maybe not.
No, it's just my short-term memory is very...
That's good. So, unless they move Allen to the slot, into the tight end spot, and make him a tight end this week.
Well, he's going to have to work the middle of the field.
He's going to have to do a hell of a lot of work in the middle of the field, mate.
He will have to.
He's going to have to be prepared to maybe... He's not a guy that ever shirks an issue.
No.
But this is going to be one of the weeks that you probably be tested on that.
Sure.
Another guy I've got in there, probably a little bit lower hanging fruit, and that's Corey Davis at Jacksonville. Look, they're giving up a lot more. They've given up 13 more fantasy points a week to wide receivers than the Rams have. But, mate, look at this QB situation. Is Mariota starting this week? Mate, I wouldn't be playing anybody except probably Dion Lewis in that offense, to be honest. I got Derrick Henry, and, mate, seriously, I start him because I have to start him.
Yeah, it's hard.
But I look at him and go, oh, man, just this week. Give me something this week. Just give me some points this week that I can get through. That's how bad this offense looks.
Just give me a few points so it's not,
Yeah,
Not
and look,
0 or 1
and
or
look,
2.
Jacksonville probably a lot of those fantasy points came last week when Brady threw 2 balls to Hogan. But let's face it, mate, when you got Brady throwing the ball, you got a far better. Mate, if Corey Davis was playing with Brady, you start him every week, wouldn't you?
Oh,
exactly.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. But in the end, mate, they only gave up 104 passing yards to Tom Brady last week.
Yep. Okay, Shepps, show us your tight end.
Show us. I'm sitting Austin Safarian Jenkins.
Hey, turn the laptop round so I can see it.
I know we talked about starting Bortles this week, but I do think the safeties. I like the safeties in Tennessee, and I think that's the matchup Safarian Jenkins is going to have. So if you have another option, start him over Safarian Jenkins because I think he's going to be shut down by a combination of Kevin Byard and Kenny Vaccaro.
Okay, shall I go my one so you can
Please.
laugh at me? So I'm going to go Ricky Seals-Jones. What?
Yeah. That's it.
I'm going back to bed.
Yeah, that's
What's wrong with Ricky Seals?
Oh, mate, look at him. Goddamn throwing the ball. The ball's not even getting to him.
That's what I mean.
Two
Exactly.
Cardinals. You're not allowed to go full Arizona Cardinals. You're going full Arizona.
For all my positions. Okay, anyway. So he's been targeted 12 times.
I think that might have gone over AJ's head.
He has 7 catches for 36 yards.
I was with you, Shepps.
That's it. That's his season. No, but RSJ is a guy that we've all drafted.
Mate, did you see how many targets he got last week? Bad balls, mate. He dropped a couple himself.
Yeah.
But they just weren't the ball. For someone that, look, I've always sort of backed Sam Bradford as being a talented, made of glass, but, a good arm.
Yeah.
Nah, sorry. He's just, nah.
Okay, tight
I'm
end,
not being
G.
that piece of toilet paper anymore. Look, I've got... Shepps would probably like this one. Back me up on this one, Shepps. I've got Will Disley this week up against the Cowboys. Given 8.4 fantasy points. I reckon this could be a low-scoring sort of bit of a slug it out.
Slobber knocker?
Yeah, slobber knocker sort of game, Shepps. That's exactly right. And, mate, the Cowboys D looks a little bit legit. Would you agree? Of course he's
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
And Xavier Woods is coming back this week. So many of you don't know who he is, but he's the reason Dallas felt comfortable staying still with what they want. They were willing to give a third for Earl Thomas, and Seattle, wasn't going to do that. So I'm not saying they didn't want Earl Thomas, but they were willing to not budge because they felt comfortable in second-year safety Xavier Woods, and it's going to be his first game back. So, and he played some nickel corner last year, so he's got man coverage skills, and he's the guy that you're going to be seeing covering a tight end like that. So he's a pretty good cover safety, and I think he's above average. So Disley's going to be shut down.
Yeah, because I agree. Look, the Cowboys now know that Disley's he's probably the guy to go to in Seattle at the moment, isn't he? Which is
The only guy.
the only guy to go to. So I think they're well aware of that now. And look, Ingram scored a touchdown last week, and he had good fantasy numbers. But mate, the touchdown came with how long was there left, Shepps? Was it like 1.5 minutes left in the game?
It was garbage time.
Yeah, it was garbage time. The game was over. It was a bit of a blow on coverage. I think everybody sort of nodded off for one play there, didn't they? And he got behind him a little bit. So I don't think they're going to let that happen this week to Will Disley.
Okay.
How do you think Pete Carroll feels about drafting Rashad Penny and not a top offensive lineman? How do you think Russell Wilson feels about that? They're not even playing the guy, and they could have had McGlinchey, Hernandez. They could have had so many of these offensive linemen, and they passed. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, the GM needs to be fired. That's terrible decision making.
It was terrible.
Sorry.
It was shocking. We've spoke about it. How the hell do you do it? Might even have him top 6 running backs coming out.
Why don't you protect Russell Wilson? What is the matter with you? What is wrong? Why can't you build your offensive line? It's terrible. It's awful, and it's been awful for years.
Maybe they figure that he's better a move quarterback
I don't know.
than he is from throwing the pocket. So instead of him sitting back, let's not let him get too happy on his laurels. If we give him an offensive line, let's just keep him on his toes. That's when he's at his best. Who knows? Maybe it's like the same situation as if you tell the guy he's the starter. With the same principle they used on Case Keenum last year was to keep him on his toes. He might not be the starter next week, Case. And that keeps him on his toes. And that's one thing that's been sort of said maybe about Ryan Fitzpatrick is when he knows he's the guy, he's never been the guy. He just
right.
implodes a little bit.
Yep.
So
So let's keep things moving, guys. Now, a segment which we've debuted this season is Future Waiver Wire. Schepps, you've been here for one of them. I think you debuted it. And then last year we had Randers on and he chipped in. But, guys, what we want to do is get ahead of the curve.
Hey, talking about Memphis.
Yep.
Randers at Dynasty Warzone. I had a good friend ring me up, and he was very impressed with Randers. He liked Randers. And I said, we got Schepps back on this week, and it's pretty quiet at the other end of the phone.
Oh, what?
I said, well, Schepps, he's got to lift his game. Lift it, Schepps.
I'm going Rico Gathers. I got Rico Gathers because last week Dak missed him wide open in the back of the end zone.
Yep.
On one play that Rico got open, it was like a deep flag, and there was a few times Dak missed him. So he's a big target. He saw some playing time last week, so it was a little bit of playing time, so no reason to kind of, have too much excitement with him. But as a Cowboys fan, I've been seeing his slow progression, and that's what you can expect with him, a slow progression. So I think he's going to progress a little more this week, and I think he's probably going to get some red zone opportunities. He might get himself a touchdown, and then in another week, I'm going to see a little bit more of a progression. But I think within the next 2 or 3 weeks, Rico Gathers is going to become a thing. So to get ahead of your waiver claims, if you need a tight end, go ahead, grab yourself Rico Gathers, and hope in about 2 or 3 weeks his time is going to come and he's going to shine.
What are you doing?
When you try and stoke the fire and you got the embers, and you try, that's Rico Gathers. Just for the next couple of weeks, isn't it, Schepps? You just go.
Could you not blow on the microphone, please? Now,
and all of a sudden, boom, fire.
You hit the mic stand.
Yeah. All right, Future Waiver. Look, the way I've done this week is, like I said at the start, we have a 14-team league.
Yep.
So I went through...
Start 3 RBs.
Start 3 wide receiver. We start 3 running backs, 1 quarterback, a flex, tight end. So I went into and had a look at our waiver wire.
Yep.
And our waiver wire's already run, so I figure, okay, well, I can take anybody off this list now.
Yes.
And DJ Moore's there. And I'm thinking, okay, DJ Moore, like last week had his first TD, and he had the stiff arm going, showed strength, speed, showed the ability to find the nice little cozy soft spot in the Falcons' D to accept the ball. And I think they don't have a massive amount of targets there. Greg Olsen's gone, obviously. Devin Funchess is Devin Funchess. They took him high. So I think, if you go and grab him, maybe if Cam can maybe just drop the ball down from throwing the ball at 8 foot and maybe drop it down to 6, he might be a little bit of just keep him on there. Now that they actually seen what he can do, and maybe Cam actually noticed he was there.
I'm going to go Kiki Cutie. Who's been hurt and I think is close to coming back if he's not coming back this week. And that's an offense that I think needs his services.
I don't mind that.
Cutesy. Well, Fuller looked good last week too.
He did.
He did. Fuller he's made of glass. He's another guy who's always dinged up. So the role's there. QT could take over.
Yeah, for sure, mate. And not just that, he plays that sort of slot role, and they don't really have a reliable tight end. Do they actually have a tight end? They've got about 3 or 4.
I think
on the roster.
They drafted a kid this year.
Yeah, they've got Jordan Akins is someone they drawed. Yeah, but he's a first year guy. But he's, Kiki's quick, he's fast, he's nimble.
Yep.
Get the balls in his hand and he can... Balls. Not plural, Greg. Come on, back on track. Get the ball in his hand and he can do things after the catch. So he could work that middle of the field very well.
It's very hard to catch the ball when you've got your balls in your hand. Gee.
It is. It is. Unless you can catch it with your helmet, because if you got your hands on the ball,
one-handed.
Okay. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. It works. It's just not, recommended.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey,
Marshawn Lynch scores a lot of touchdowns with one hand on each, doesn't he? Pretty much.
True. Now, listen, another segment which we have debuted this season is what we're looking forward to seeing.
Oh, you missed one.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Winging a prayer. Living on a prayer.
This week.
Winging a prayer.
Start.
Winging a prayer. What's that again?
Just someone, mate. You need someone. You're just gonna wing it and pray to God that they give you a score.
Perfect.
Okay,
Schepps, have you got one?
Yeah, mine's Latavius Murray because it's kind of piggybacking off of what I said about Dalvin Cook. I feel comfortable picking Latavius Murray up this week. I think that he's going to. I saw some stat. I wish I gave credit to somebody, but I forget who it was from. Someone was, what the number 2 running back did against Buffalo over the first 2 weeks, and one of them was Austin Eckler, and I believe both running backs in PPR went over 15 points, both backups. And Murray is a backup, and also Cook has a hammy. So my wing in a prayer this week is yeah. One of them's dinged up, so I'm giving it to Latavius Murray this week.
He runs well. Like, I understand there's a lot of people that sort of... I think when you run so upright, people, it's not the way a running back looks. Everybody likes them to get low and get their pad level down and all that. And he doesn't run like that, and that's who he is. But, man, the dude's explosive. He's seriously... You go and watch him. He travels over a fair bit of ground really quick for a guy his size.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And it seems like he didn't start... His career didn't... You know, he wasn't an explosive guy, I didn't think, from the jump. So it seems like he's, I don't know if he's getting in better shape or same thing with like Zeke. Zeke's always, you know, he's had burst, but he didn't have that extra gear, you know, right off the bat, you know. So I'm seeing this year with Zeke, as soon as he gets the ball, if you go and watch the Cowboys this week, when he gets the ball this year, he's got an instant burst. And I don't know if he lost weight or what, but, you know, it's nice to see guys that you've drafted. And especially in Dynasty, it's nice to see them kind of develop additional aspects that make their, you know, take their game to the next level. It's definitely great when you're a Dynasty owner and you know, an investment you make like Latavius Murray, you know, starts to grow as a player. So he's my wing and a prayer.
He's in Zeke's sort of getting in Shep shape.
Shep shape, that's right.
It's even better than ship shape. It's Shep shape.
Yeah, my word.
I should. Minka Fitzpatrick. He trying to trademark Fitz Magic, so maybe I should trademark Shep shape.
Shep shape.
Yes,
you should.
There you go.
You should.
Well, you can't now because I said it, so I have rights to it. I can prove it.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll sell it to you. My wing and a prayer this week is someone I was going to put down in... I think I was going to put him down in the starters, I think. So I was going to come back around to him, and now we have. And I had a question mark next to him, and his name is Josh Gordon. Now, do you stick him out this week? There is no Darius Slay in the secondary. Brady has absolute confidence, well, we know that, in his own ability to do what he wants to do. I just got this feeling that he just needs a couple of balls, and Brady has the kahunas, even though he's only been on the team, less than a week. Stick him in there if you really need someone with upside. That could be the wing in the prayer you need.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's the complete, like, what exemplifies, I don't know if that would be the word we'd use here. I think that exemplifies this category, wing in a prayer. I think Josh Gordon has been so-so. Now he's a Patriot, so there's part of your prayer. You want him to be in a situation where he can excel. Prayer answered. He's with Tom Brady. Now this week you put him in there, and you pray that connection comes through, and I think it will. I think Brady is going to get him the ball. I think Belichick's been talking it down. Belichick knows what he's doing, man. He's been talking it down all week. You know, I'm not going to talk about it until it's official. Meanwhile, Josh Gordon's running around at practice. He knows what he's
Patriots
doing.
Uniform.
He's talking it down so that people will sleep on it, and boom, Gordon's going to come out like 8 receptions, 160 yards. He's going to put everybody on notice. Wing in a prayer, good.
Nice. Kelvin Benjamin. No. That'd be a good one, wouldn't it, in this category?
Yeah.
You'd go,
let's just skip it, mate. You haven't got anything down there.
No, I don't.
You haven't got anything down.
Okay.
Come on.
All right, so what you're looking forward to seeing?
Shepps.
I'm looking forward to seeing Mahomes versus Jimmy GQ. It's just a duel. I don't think Jimmy GQ has came out and balled out like some of us expected, but hopefully against the Chiefs defense that's a lacking defense, he comes out and plays. I'm hoping to see G's boy Dante Pettis. I'm hoping to see him ball. I'm hoping to see Breida ball, George Kittle. So hopefully Jimmy GQ rises to the challenge, and we get to see a nice, juicy QB matchup. Jimmy GQ versus Patty Mahomes.
Well, that's really interesting because we're going to be on the Patty Mahomes wagon, I think, a lot of us for a long time at the moment, especially the way he's playing. We're just absolutely loving it. And mate, it's quite interesting, and it sort of makes me a little bit, look, each to their own and whatever. If you want to go and say, I knew it was going to be this, all these people jumping on the the Patty Mahomes bandwagon. The only people I'm going to give credit to are people that saw him in college or people that saw him in the draft and said, this guy is going to be something before he even picked up a football in the NFL. Not jumping on his case once he's got started. You go screw yourselves, all you people. Because it just annoys the crap out of me. Since the first week, everybody's jumping on all these, I knew this, I remember I told you. Bullshit. But, look, I'm going to stay on the Patty Mahomes wagon as well, but it's more, I'm really interested to see Kyle Shanahan against Patty Mahomes. Not Kyle Shanahan, the offensive coordinator, Kyle Shanahan, the head coach. Like, he would have loved to have someone like Patty Mahomes. Imagine what he could do with Patty Mahomes. Seriously. So he's up against Patty Mahomes this week. He knows this is the guy that he'd love to have as a quarterback. Now, he's got to try and stifle him some way. So I don't care what they do offensively, the 49ers. I want to see how he coaches his team against a guy that he'd love to have as his quarterback.
No, it's going to be a fantastic game to watch. And I'm going to add into the mix and we mentioned it before, but the Monday night football game, Pittsburgh at Tampa, which there could be so many points scored in that game, it'll be ridiculous. And there's so many storylines. If the Steelers go 0-3 to start the season, I mean, statistically, historically, you can almost rub them out, can't you? And then you've got the whole story.
It won't be 0-3, will it?
Oh, my God.
It'll be 0-2-1.
Oh, 0-2-1.
Did you hear what you just said?
What?
I'm not even going to repeat what you just said. With all the lines and drops we've had this show, that might have been one of the best, but the listeners heard it. We can keep going on.
All right, we'll keep going.
No idea what he's talking about.
No, nor do I. Okay. It's probably good.
I have to listen back to it.
0-2-1, you're right. 0-2-1, but still pretty dire. And obviously you've got all the
everything else is going on.
With Fitzpatrick, I mean, if he has a similar game, then, I mean, what does that do to that whole situation? I mean, I think there's so many storylines and such interest in this game. It's going to be an absolute cracker.
No,
if Fitzpatrick balls out, Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans will not let them put Jameis Winston in.
No, I wouldn't think so. No.
Fans would show up at the coach's door and, throw eggs at his house if they tried benching Fitzpatrick. They'd have
flaming torches, wouldn't they? But let's say Fitzpatrick, let's say the Bucs win the game and Fitzpatrick plays great, and then they pull Fitzpatrick and put Winston in.
That's not going to happen.
And then, no, but wait. And then Winston has like a 150 yards, 1 TD, 1 pick game. Then what happens?
Yeah, and the magic beans never really turn into a beanstalk, mate. It's just a story. It's just a fable. It's not true.
Ooh.
Who says that magic beans never turn into a... That's what my mummy told me.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They're not going to do it.
They're not going to pull him, you're saying?
No. Hell no.
Especially 1 week before the
he's going to have to... They're going to give him a couple of chances before they even before they pull him. He's earned the right. Mate, the locker room wants him as the quarterback.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Well, you don't think the locker room's looking at Jameis Winston going, we're married, we have daughters, we have wives, and you're carrying on like our quarterback who's meant to be leading this team is out doing crap like you're doing, and now we have this guy who's doing a great job, upstanding individual.
Yeah.
Mate, locker rooms want to follow someone not just because they're a great player, because of the person that they are.
Yeah, sure.
At the end of the day, winning is a phenomenal deodorant. And if Jameis Winston was a winner, like he was, I think the locker room would put up with a lot more. Like Tyrod Taylor's a good dude.
They put up with it, John. They put up with it because they're professionals, and that's what they have to do, and they're getting paid to do it. But
I'm saying Tyrod Taylor, similar, like I guarantee you the locker room is looking at Tyrod Taylor almost the same way that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers locker room is going to look at Jameis Winston. They're looking at him like, man, we followed you, but we got this dude who's a dude, and Baker Mayfield, and we're behind him. Like I feel like the Browns locker room is going to turn on Tyrod the same way that the Buccaneers locker room is going to turn on Jameis. And the Buccaneers locker room has more fuel to turn on Jameis, but it's winning. We want to win. They want to make money. They got wives and kids. They want to be successful. They want to win. They want to make more money. So I think that's what I understand what you're saying. It makes it easier to turn on the guy, but he's not a winner.
All right, well, guys, we've been talking for ages, and this has been fantastic. Lots of storylines. It's great to have NFL back. We're 2 weeks in, and man, it's good fun, isn't it?
It is absolutely fantastic. Falcons had a win last week. I'm wrapped. Looking forward to the game this week. I think we got a good chance.
Oh, I forgot about Twitter questions. But keep talking.
If we can stop Alvin Kamara, which at the moment, Schepps, I think he's the most unstoppable force in the NFL at the moment. Outside of you look at Fitzpatrick and all that, but a guy that doesn't touch the ball nowhere near as much, mate, he's having one of the biggest impacts on the game at the moment.
Okay, some quick fire questions, guys, to round us out. From Antonio, he asks, Raiders' outlook for the rest of the season. I'm not going to answer it, you guys. Raiders' outlook. Man, they really should have beaten the Broncos.
But they didn't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you should, could have, would have, you didn't.
Okay,
and that's all that matters.
But they played a good game.
Yeah, but that's good games don't give you points. Good games don't make you win the division, No. Winning.
There you go. Winning. If they can win, then I think it's going to be a snowball either way.
Right.
If they can start winning, things can go good fast. But they need to start winning fast. They need to win this week. It's a must win and it's early in the season, but just for their whole
confidence.
What's the word? Yes, confidence. And they need a W. So if they can get a win this week is going to say a lot for how their season goes. So ask me next week. Because if they get a win this week, it could start rolling. If they lose, then it's going to go sour and south fast.
Okay, another question. Confidence that Josh Gordon plays multiple games in a row without an injury, in inverted commas?
That's a good question. Who knows? Mate, you can't say if he's going to have injuries. There's been plenty of guys that have injuries for the first couple of years of a football career and then they never have another one. I can't answer that because I have no idea. Injuries could happen for what? From hamstring to getting your knee blown out. Like, what happens? It's a game of football. Injuries any given week to any given player.
I think it would be very Patriots for him to succeed and play multiple weeks. Like, it just seems like things like this go their way. It would be very Patriots for Josh Gordon to have a year where he can stack good game on top of good game on top of good game, and then they get rid of him. Watch. Yeah. And then he falls back apart. So I could see it happening.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Do the Browns win at least 5 games this year?
Yes.
Agreed.
From Big Zacco, he asks, Matty Ice and Julio, when do they break out the TD party? This week?
Yeah, let's say, for fun, let's say this week. Make it happen.
Look, we went down, our first 4 drives last week resulted in 4 touchdowns, which was great. So next thing is, I'm going to give him 2.
Oh, you're giving him 2?
I'm giving him 2 this week.
Ooh, man, they're probably going to be long TDs too.
I was going to say they're going to be from outside 20, John.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like 50-yard. He's due. He's due for that 30-point fantasy output. So it's going to happen.
So I'm asking for a friend, a Raiders fan who's had enough of Chucky. What team should he pick to be a fan of?
Oh, that's a good question. So did they want
Chiefs?
to start?
You couldn't pick the Chiefs. No,
I would.
Surely not.
Mate, for Paddy. Oh, hell yeah. To watch that every week for the next 10, 15 years? Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm on board.
Who's this year's Jacksonville? Who's this year's team that's tough, old school, up and coming? Is there a team like that this year?
Could be the Bears.
Bears.
That's a nice call. That's a nice call.
Go back. Yeah, but they're back. I'm less confident in him than I am in Bortles. but they do have a running game, and they do have a decent offensive line. So yeah, it's the Bears, man. Go with Khalil. If you're that Raiders fan, whoever you are, go with Khalil. Go to the Bears.
So do I get you a Bears?
It's not me.
A Bears jersey for
It's not him. It's not me.
No, I agree. No, that's fine. That's fine. Mate, I like what the Rams are doing at the moment, but I don't think the Rams are going to stay together as a unit. I think players are going to be shifting and moving. Because mate, the salary cap is just going to
bite them.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these guys might stay for 1 year and move on, and unfortunately.
That's just the nature of
it. It is.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, it's been fantastic, as it always is. Schepps, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're heading into work now, and, for us, it's party time. Well, not really. You'd probably go to bed. but
I walked off the building site today.
You walked off?
Yeah, I walked off.
What do you mean you walked off?
I walked off. I told the builder, I'm going home.
You're kidding?
No.
Really?
I said, screw this.
What happened? What happened?
Mate, there's too many people on the building site when I'm trying to do my job, so I can't do my job properly. If I can't give the owners, 100%, and I ain't staying. So I just
Is he
walked
just
off.
trying to push the deadline? Is that what he's doing?
Yeah. I said, I'm not working with this many people. Screw you. See you. Bye.
Screw you?
I didn't say that. But I said it in my head.
And what did he say?
No. He was fine.
He said, come back next week, or he
fine.
said, see you later?
I'll work the weekend. I'd rather work the weekend when there's no one there. But anyway, let's wrap this up. But anyway.
So you work on the weekend?
Yep.
Well, listen, thanks, guys. Hope you're enjoying the NFL, everyone. Thanks for listening, as we always are very thankful for your listenership.
And for Schepps for getting up so early and jumping on board, mate. You're a champion.
You
Johnny.
are a champion.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You didn't laugh at my donut jokes.
Reeling me back in.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to the episode and try to find that drop that I was talking about.
Okay. I did say that with crossed fingers, but...
Well, I will have to edit it, so I will hear it, whatever it was. So anyway, thanks, everyone. And on behalf of everybody here...
Schepps, G, and AJ.
Yep. Thanks for listening. Catch you next time.